Evan, you're so good. Can we just get 200 members out of the way and I can go? Can you do that? Do that now? Is that possible? No? Thank you, Evan, for the one. You legend. Good evening, wonderful people of YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining us on what has been a dreary, miserable, kind of shitty Wednesday here, actually. It's been cold and kind of gloomy for what is supposed to be summer. And it's been even more gloomy because I've spent some of today doing fucking accounts. Ugh. Stephen, thank you for the 10 gift. Oh, 10 gifted off the bat. Gauntlet's been laid down, chat. Stephen, thank you for the 10 gifted, you fucking hero. What a legend. I'm not rich. Evan, you gift one like all the time. You're amazing. Don't ever say sorry. Thank you so much. You fucking legend. Mordy Hammer with the gifted as well. But thank you, Stephen, much for the fucking 10 gifted. You're incredible. Kiana with a 5. Maybe we can do it. Maybe we can just get 200 members out of the way and then we can have a chilled stream and I don't have to worry too much. More on this in just a moment with the topic title. How are you all doing anyway? I was like, I don't really have much to talk about today. And I thought, well, what can be relevant? After I spent 2 hours doing account stuff in accounting software and spreadsheets. I was like, I know what we can talk about. I know what we can talk about. Pass it off to Joe. Joe can't count his own fingers. I'm not going to let you fucking the books, am I? Jesus. Think about it, Icy Junior. Thank you so much for all the gifteds already, you fucking wonderful people. If you haven't already, please make sure you smash all those magical YouTube buttons first. Hit the like button if you enjoy the content. Smash subscribe if you haven't already. You can hit that bell notification icon if you want to be notified every single time we go live or drop a new video. Alternatively, if you are already a member or you become a member or you get gifted a member and you get yourself in the Great Hall Discord server, !Discord in chat. If you do that, then you can choose the 40k reaction roll. And if you choose the 40k reaction roll, every single time we go live, drop a new video, or schedule a stream, it will notify you as well. You'll notice today we scheduled late because of said accounts. Luce is here.
Hello.
You just rushed downstairs because you heard me talking. Did you look at the time and be like, fuck, it's stream time?
Yes.
Yeah, Testicle, thank you for the 5 gifted. Well, is that my face upside down?
It's not at all because my bobbin ran out and I can't be bothered.
No.
So
I figured that I started talking loudly and you were like, he's talking to chat, and raced downstairs.
Some of it was that. I looked at my watch and it said 7:10 and I was like, why is he talking? Oh my God. It's already 7:30.
Yeah. Thank you, all you wonderful people, for the incredible gifts. We're up to 22 already. You amazing people. Pass my accounts officer to Dad as an ex-accountant. It works. I'm sure it does. Yeah.
Big year.
Big yep. Joe, how's it going, Joe? You legend. Are you feeling any better now? Joe's been poorly.
Is he?
I think he had COVID. I'm sure that's what he said he had.
Oh, okay.
No. It's in Joe Svensson.
Oh.
Big yup, man.
Oh.
Yeah.
COVID's crap.
I think he's been poorly. I think him and his little one got COVID. Which sucks balls. So, I figured today, in order to enable myself to be able to moan a bit, right, we would pick the stream title, Why You Shouldn't Turn Your Hobby Into a Job. Why you shouldn't turn your hobby into a job, right? Mika, thank you so much for 10. Fuck, chat on it tonight, Luce.
Well, I mean, I'm not ready. I don't have my...
But don't forget also, because it's my youngest's birthday tomorrow, I'm going to say this again, because it's my youngest's birthday tomorrow and he's 7, before people get all upset that we're not doing any content, we are doing no content tomorrow. So if you are holding your gifteds to be able to hit both targets tomorrow as well, you might as well literally blow your load tonight in one go, right? Oh, I know. I've got an idea. Here we go. I've got an idea now. Okay, so we're on 32. I've got an idea now.
Was Evan the first one to do something?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
There we go. I just had witty remark goes here. Now I've got a better one. There we go. Perfect. Thank you so much for all those gifted, you beautiful people. So, like, do you know what? actually, in the grand scheme of things, because this isn't a negative post, this isn't me moaning, this isn't me being actually super whingy about it at all. But in all seriousness, having your hobby as your job is actually arguably one of the most incredible things that can happen to a person. I do know people, and the list isn't long or huge, but I do know people that do their hobby as a job and then very quickly get turned off of their hobby, and it kind of loses its passion, its interest, its love, because it is then your job. And those people then kind of want to find a career in something different, or they have to find a different hobby. And the reason why they have to find a different hobby is because the hobby is no longer the hobby. It's now work, right? And actually, you know what? Building and painting miniatures, not that I do much of the latter of those two things, playing games on stream, it doesn't actually really feel that much like work, if I'm being honest, to be fair. And I think that's where sometimes this particular career path does differ from other people who turn their hobbies into jobs, right? And what I mean by that is to play a game with Joe on stream like we did last night and remember about chat isn't that difficult, that hard, and I actually really fucking enjoyed it. Sometimes I don't want to sit and do a talking head stream, but actually, on the whole, I really enjoy it. Sitting here for an hour and a half and chatting to a camera isn't all that arduous, and it's quite a lot of fun. The hardest part of talking head streams, the hardest part is finding a relevant topic. And so in that regards, having your hobby as a job, do you know what? It's not that bad. It's fucking pretty good, actually. Especially when your hobby's literally playing with plastic toy soldiers. All right, no one's going to die. That's not a risk. It's not like I'm taking people abseiling as a hobby. It's fucking pretty chill, pretty low risk, pretty easy. There's two big stresses with it. The first one is the one that you all know about anyway, right? Which is the making money part, which comes with the territory of running a channel whereby we put everything out for free, minimal to nothing behind a paywall, and we kind of just rely on generosity to keep the doors open, the lights on, and people fed. That's the first hard part. I'm not going to labour that at all because you all know about that anyway. Hence, we have the membership targets, which is literally the best and most common way people are supporting the channel. It's probably responsible for now well over 80% of total channel revenue, and so we're incredibly grateful. The other one, though, the other part of it is all the behind-the-scenes shit. That's the bit that makes for me at least, the hobby job part a bit filling in the fire registers and doing the alarm tests, getting the air conditioning people out to clear the filters, arranging waste collection, filling in your accountant stuff on the software, filling in spreadsheets, tracking all that kind of shite, getting the water tested to make sure it's not got Legionellas once every 3 months. Now dealing with the fact that we've got 3 abandoned cars, one of which has been occupied by some people who are now living in it outside the front of the building, that I now have to try and deal with. And I raised that, by the way, yesterday with the local police again. Yeah. And I got an email back today saying, yeah, not our problem, we've got to talk to the council. Good, thanks.
Even though there's now...
Even though there's needles and prostitution going on, yeah. Police,
okay.
Fucking... I'm sorry if you're a police officer. If you are a police officer, I absolutely fucking adore you, especially if you're one of those people who's out on the street dealing with things daily. But our police force in this country is fucking farcical. And to be fair, a lot of it's to do with funding and what have you know. Surely
the second you say to the council, it really, really needs to be moved because it's now becoming a bit of an open house situation. They're then going to say, well, that's illegal activity. You need to go to the police.
Possibly, and in which case I'll be like, I have, and here's my email response from Hampshire Constabulary, who sends you an email response from an email that you can't even reply to. Okay. Thanks, Hampshire. Thank you. Anyway, Luke, thank you for the gifted. Then there's other menial tasks that sounds fucking stupidly childish. This is me now really having a minor moan, but like cleaning the studio, especially cleaning up after the man-child that inhabits it with me. Mopping the kitchen floor, cleaning the toilet. There's just so much that goes hand in hand with running a business that is also your hobby that goes. So the hobby stuff gets you up here, and then some of these little tags start chipping away at it. Like it was I said this to Joe yesterday, right? And I don't mean this necessarily seriously at all. But I said this to Joe yesterday. I was like, sometimes I feel like I could have just not taken the studio. I could have just done talking heads all week. And I wouldn't have had the rent cost, and I wouldn't have had the rates cost, and the energy costs, and the internet costs, and the water check costs, and the fucking waste collection costs, and the blah, 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 and all the extra shit that goes with it. Like all that extra stuff that equates to many thousands a month just to run that property. And he was like, I get it. Now, I'm glad we have it.
Yeah.
I'm glad we have it. Don't get me wrong. Absolutely glad we have it. But there is all that stuff you're like, imagine if I didn't. It's just all that stress and problems go away. Sam, I'm not going to read that out. Oh, but anyway, thank you for the 33 gifted. We've got a bigger target tonight, look, because covering for Thursday, I found a witty retort. I'm sure if they burn somehow, they'd be moved. Joe keeps saying he'll go outside and burn it, and I'm like, no, we can't do that, Joe. It's illegal. So it's allowed. What does the topic matter? In about 20 minutes, we'll talk about trains or douchebags or something. Lord of Cinder, you know us well. This is the thing, right? I feel like nowadays, how rude.
Question for any police in chat. What made you want to be a policeman officer?
That's got to be a difficult one. I unfortunately also now know too many people that join and then like 2 years later leave. 2 years. That's not a lot of time, is it, when you think about it? Liberty Fires, how's it going, dude? Anyway, in terms of the topic, the biggest stress for Talking Heads streams in general, two biggest stresses for Talking Heads streams, Lord of Cinder, to be fair, is making sure we hit those revenue goals and then coming up with a topic and a thumbnail. Because like, you're right, 15 minutes in, we almost definitely won't be talking about the topic specifically anymore. Sometimes we do, especially if there's a particularly interesting topic to talk about or a thing that I'm particularly passionate about. But typically we don't. But we just use it as a launch pad. We use it as a starter for 10, right? We start talking about something. Someone says something. We go off in random tangents and directions, and we go on a little Hobbit adventure, on a little stroll. Luke still won't watch Lord of the Rings with me.
No.
See, she's not even thinking about it. What if they all happen to just catch fire for some reason? I mean, there's narcotics going on, some of which include flames and spoons. So you know what I'm talking about. I can't say it because YouTube. And, you know, a fire could be reasonable. The thing is, the cars are quite close to the building. I don't want a fire to break out in the cars because they're dangerously close to the building. And my building is full of all my stuff. Full of all my hobby stuff. There's a lot of money worth of stuff in there. So, a Hot Fuzz reference that Liam didn't get. No, I know what a policeman officer. I know that reference. Christopher Sanford. I'm aware of the reference. I've watched that film. One of the rare films I have watched. I've watched it far too many times. But it's still going to be an interesting question for actual people that are bobbies, isn't it? To be fair, I reckon. Hobbit trilogy terrible. Lord of the Rings trilogy pretty good. No, I'm not asking her to watch the Hobbit trilogy. To be fair, I wouldn't do that to her. Only Lord of the Rings, extended edition, obviously.
No.
Plus all the bonus content, obviously. The Unbelievable Beaver. What a great name. Thanes will be Googling accelerants. No. Let's not do that. I was sure it was Hot Fuzz reference. Keep meaning to rewatch it. You need to rewatch it, Bravestar, 100%. Your building muscles, just shove them away a bit. I don't want to go near them, Dandy Deadpool. Oh, you mean the cars? I don't want to go near them either. I don't want to go anywhere near them. One of them is an absolute fucking mess. All the windows have been put through. It's covered in flour and eggs. Someone's pulled the front bumpers off and left it on the floor. There's fucking needles around it. I'm not interested. Not interested at all. Be back later going to watch your VT stream. Why are you doing that? What, do you hate yourself, Lehman Russ? Is that what's going on? Why would you do that? Are you just not a fan of yourself? Do you not like your eyes or your ears? Or are you looking to get to sleep? It happened to catch fire the day after you moved everything out of the office and increased your insurance policy. No extended edition. Watched extended Lord of the Rings trilogy with my 10-year-old daughter recently. She loved it. Of course she did. She's a woman of taste. Bravestar, obviously. Time to get a towing man in. Well, I'll raise it with the council like the constabulary have said, but they need to fucking move it. It's disgusting that people can just dump shit there. Absolutely vile. But this is another part of like the joys of it being a business. This is like on New Year's Eve. Hang on, I'm going to sneeze.
Bless you. Look at the light. Look at that! Look at the light! Look at the light!
Look at her trying to convince me to die. This is the thing. Like New Year's Eve, we finished the stream at New Year's Eve at 20 past midnight. I think it was roughly when we finished, or something like that, or midnight. So. And then at 1 o'clock in the morning, I was at the studio because the fucking burglar alarm had gone off. No one was in the building. It had a fault on it.
Yeah.
But the burglar alarm had gone off. So at 1 o'clock in the morning, as the sole key holder for the building now, at 1 o'clock in the morning when the burglar alarm's going off, I had to be at the building to check everything because I didn't know this as well, right? This fucking enrages me, right? So we have an alarm system, as you know, on the building, which means the second you open the door, the alarm goes off, as every alarm system does. And it's got motion sensors throughout the building. And the second the motion sensors are triggered, when the alarm is set, the alarm goes off, right? Okay, cool. And then I'll have a little fob and you go in and you go boop and you hold it there for a minute and it disarms the alarm and you can move about freely. And when you leave the building, you boop, hold it on, it sets the alarm again. It gives you a bit of a timer. You get out the door, shut the door, the alarm is set. Perfect. Sounds good, right? It's what you expect from an alarm. Now, this is an alarm system that there's a subscription that's paid for. And when the alarm system triggers, it phones a control center, right? And the control center then deals with the alarm trigger. So the first thing they're going to do is phone the key holder to see if it's them or if it's someone's like supposed to be in the building. So my phone at 10 p.m. every night, my phone goes on to full do not disturb mode, and it happens on purpose because my phone is notification constant all day, right? Which is lovely, but also it's a lot. So when we hit nighttime hours, this is something else that happened since running this as a business and running the channel. My phone just exploded. Like it's just constantly going off with Discord and WhatsApp and emails and that kind of stuff. Not a complaint, but it's constantly going off. So I had to set my alarm to do not disturb at 10 p.m. And that means at 10 p.m. when we go upstairs and we have a shower and we settle down and we go to bed, my phone's on do not disturb. So unless I look at it, it's not going to keep going off or flashing up and all that kind of stuff. I think it's pretty common now. People do it quite a lot. And then at 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, it comes off of Do Not Disturb, which is when I'm ready to start taking notifications live again. If that kind of makes sense, right? So on New Year's Eve, when we finished the stream at like quarter past midnight, I didn't know that I had 2 phone calls from about 5 past midnight from the alarm company because my phone was like Do Not Disturb's on. It's past 10 o'clock at night. And what I hadn't done, this is a me issue, but what I hadn't done is I hadn't set my Do Not Disturb to allow the alarm companies through. I have subsequently done this because I'm the only key holder. So even if my phone's on Do Not Disturb mode now at 1 o'clock in the morning, if one of the alarm companies phone me to say your building's on fire, it will ring my phone and it will wake me up, right? So that was, at the time, it wasn't on. So I got off stream, I looked at my phone at 25 minutes past, I went, the fuck's that phone number? Why is that phoning me at 3 minutes past midnight on New Year's Eve? So, and then your cogs start turning and you're going, it's going to be an alarm company of some sort. It has to, who else is phoning at 3 minutes past midnight?
On New Year's Eve?
On New Year's Eve. Scammers aren't phoning you then.
No, but it could be drunk friends. I fucking love you,
it could be, but if it's drunk friends, I'll have their number saved. It's not going to be telemarketing at that time, so I'm like... So I Googled the phone number.
Your friends are drunk. They won't have the forethought to go, oh, Leon will pick up because the caller ID's saved. Or they'd have rinsed their battery out calling everybody else saying how much they love you, man. So by the time it got to you, they were borrowing their friend's phone. Your friends are very drunk, babe. So it might not be well thought out.
So I Googled the phone number immediately and was like, it's an alarm monitoring station. I was like, this is a problem. So I phoned them back. And I said, I've had two missed phone calls. Oh, are you a key holder for a property? I was like, yes, I am, yeah. What's your property? So I told them. What's your password? So I told them, blah, blah, blah. Right? And they're like, yep, we've had an alarm activation at 3 minutes past midnight. I was like, oh, okay. So what have you done? She was like, I'm sorry, what? What have you done? Nothing. What the fuck are we paying an alarm subscription for?
So you know the alarm's going
off. So I've had an alarm activation at 3 minutes past midnight. Have you phoned the police and asked them to attend? No. Why? Like, what if someone's in my building? What if, and for all they know, they don't know, for example, that the bottom 2 floors are empty and that the top floor is the only one occupied. Nor do they know that each of those floors have separate locked doors. For what they know, someone could be in that building taking anything that's in there right now. I was like, but you've had an alarm activation. She's like, yeah, there's only one. Right. Okay. So I was like, so what the fuck? She's like, well, someone needs to go over there. I was like, yeah, I thought that's what we paid you for. So in the end, that's when I had to get over to the fucking studio at 1 o'clock in the morning and to find that there was actually an earth fault on the system because of the amount of rain that we'd had. And so I had to speak. I was on the phone to an engineer at 1 a.m. Who was talking me through how to bypass the fault so that we could set the alarm, but the fault wouldn't keep sending it off. Like, I couldn't get over that. Like, why do we pay an alarm system to monitor it? Like, we're monitoring it. I'm fucking doing nothing about it. We're monitoring it. Unbelievable. Just so you know, that was one of those things. But this is another one of those things, like, where you get back and you get into bed at then like 1:30 in the morning. You're like, the joys of being a small business owner. Because if you're a massive business owner, you know what you've got? Other people that are key holders. Right, they can deal with it. They're key holders, what they're paid for. That's not what happens to us.
Are we sure this stream isn't just a way for you to talk about yourself? Are we sure?
I mean, it's pretty much what all the streams are, Luce.
Okay.
Why?
I'm just wondering. You're like, oh no, I won the lottery and they gave it to me all in 50s. God, never gonna spend this now. No one will take 50s.
That'd be really shitty, actually, having it all in 50s, wouldn't it?
Oh God.
Why don't we just wire it to you? Much easier. They wanted you to go face intruders alone. Yeah, absolutely.
So the alarm company, that's not in their contract for them to call the police?
Was the alarm company ADT? Yes, Dandy Deadpool it is, yeah. Might be cheaper to install a Ring doorbell camera. I literally now have, partly because of that, I've now got 2 Ring doorbell cameras in the building, Stu, so I can see what's going on. So every time, like, it looks down my stairs, it looks inside my office. And that was also because the building, like, managers went through a phase of just let themselves in the property, which is perfectly fine because they're the building managers. But then on one occasion, one of them just let themselves in my floor when I wasn't there with no notification at all, and that wasn't okay. And that's why I now have the cameras.
Yeah, but have you checked what the package is that you're paying for with the alarm company?
Well, no, but it's an alarm company.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel like phoning the police when a burglar alarm goes off is an added extra.
But it might be.
I mean, that'd be shocking if it was.
It sounds like it is. So you might need to check the package, or are you allowed to change companies?
Mike the Rhino. Lucy's saying you're talking about you, yet we talked about dresses for 2 weeks.
No, Mike. No, we didn't. Any conversation about the dresses got quickly shut down. I pretty much went through that saga by myself.
Mike's right. Women just remember things differently. Best hello everyone on the interweb, your security systems.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to make a massive difference, Carl, to be honest with you. We sold some plant recently, paid in 50s. Everyone hates them. Went to bank, changed them up. Did you? I've not seen a £50 note. I was talking to Joe about this yesterday. Was it Joe I was talking about yesterday? I think it was Joe talking about this. Yes, it was Joe. We were talking on the Liam and Joe show. So I actually quite miss cash. Because I was like, when I was a kid, when I was younger, I don't know if you were the same. When I was younger, and I was going on a night out in the town at like 18 in Southampton, right? And I was getting paid by my shitty Tesco's job whilst at college and stuff. What you would do, what I remember doing, is I remember going to the cash point, withdrawing my night budget, and then off I went to town. And what I spent was only what was in my wallet. And then if it ran out, it ran out. And there was always some money that was like, this is for the taxi or the late night bus home, right? If it ran out, it ran out. That was it. And there was a couple of occasions where we walked to Hythe back from Southampton because we completely ran out of money, which, as you know, is quite a long way, right? And now I don't take cash anywhere ever.
I love cash.
Why? Because I do kind of miss it, but I don't really know why I miss cash.
Because I'm still anonymous when I use cash. So if I
loose money launders.
If I buy something online, I'm gonna get, and people can go on and on to me about cookies.
But we love it as well. Loose, not only him.
Thanks, Adrian.
People can go on and on about the cookies, but I'll then get targeted ads, and I've tried, and I'm not, considering I'm the generation that grew up alongside technology, my capacity to take on more learning about technology is far slower than they're all coming up with how to target you with ads. Whereas with cash, I can go anywhere and spend my money, and all I've done is bought the thing I wanted to buy. There's no targeted ads. There's no paper trail, if you like, that means that, yeah, I guess it's just the targeted ads. I like the anonymity with cash.
I think what I liked about cash, or what I like about cash, is that people make better financial decisions.
I definitely do.
When you're parting with actual cash.
Yeah.
So there are times where you can go out on the beer. I mean, it's been a long old time since I've done this, to be fair. So it's not particularly accurate in terms of recent times, because I've matured a lot over the last year or two, maybe a bit longer than that, 3 or 4 years, whilst having a family, owning a business, etc. But there were times where you could go out with just your fucking contactless and your card, and you could come and you could look at your bank the next day and be like, how much?
Yeah, how did that happen?
Where did that all go?
Yeah.
Because boop, it's easy. Don't see it. You literally don't see it coming out of your account.
Yeah.
Don't see it.
And then it's just little things like children now, not just our two, but children in general are very bad at understanding money and how pence fits into pounds, and how you can make 50p with different combinations of coins, because now you have your Go Henry card, which is a kid's card. Our two don't have it because they prefer cash, so when they get their pocket money, it's in cash. And I think it's because they like to hold it as well. They like to feel like, oh, this is all my hard work.
I think the youngest has no real kind of idea what's going on when it comes to cash, but the eldest paid for something today.
Yeah.
And he goes and gets his little money tin, and he looks at how much it costs for whatever it is he wants to buy, and he goes and gets his little money tin. So when he's buying things, he's typically buying a digital transaction. It'll be something on one of his games, or it will be a new game, or it'll be normally something digital, right? Which means he already can't buy it physically anyway, because he doesn't have a bank account online, etc. So I have to buy it for him. So what we have in place is he has his own little money tin with his little money, and what he'll do is I love this about him. It's so amazing. Is he'll look at the price of it, and then he'll have a think about it for a moment, because he's already going at 11. He's already going, is it worth that much money? Yes or no? And then sometimes I've seen him do this before. Sometimes, so before he bought the last game that he bought on the Switch that they have, he Googled whether it was any good.
Good.
Right?
Amazing.
I was like, super proud, amazing. And then he goes up to his money tin, he brings his money tin down, he takes a little top off of it, he'll pull out the money that he's got in his money tin, he'll pull out the money that the thing costs. He did this today, it was £10 only, and he'll look at what's left, and he'll look at it, and he'll be like, and you can see him going, I'm comfortable with this decision.
Yeah.
And then he hands me the money, so he actually parts with the cash, and I'll put in the password and buy the thing for him.
Yeah. And
I was like, in a modern day world of what is essentially digital currency, I'm kind of glad we have this process in place, because he kind of like looks at it. It's like I don't want to say this for fear of murdering ourselves, but things like super chats and gifted memberships, right? No one's paying cash to do this.
No.
So how easy is it to gift 5 memberships, gift 5 memberships, gift 5 memberships, gift 5 memberships, and before you know it, you've done it 4 times and you've dropped £100. It's easy to do. It is easy to do, especially with things like Apple Pay, because it's literally click, click, done.
I think it also plays into being hassled in your human experience is a good thing. Anything that causes you time hassle surely is a good thing, because it teaches you in the long run, oh, I should have been better with my time, or is this worth my time? Because now look at the state I'm in. Prioritizing yourself, or maybe doing better to prioritize others.
It's interesting, isn't it, as well, because it's about time hassle is... If we call it time hassle, but is it a hassle if it's essentially giving you the time to think?
Got absolutely bladdered with a friend buying rounds of shots and cocktails. Winced the next day hungover when checking the account. Grimacing face, crying face.
I've been there, Stu. We went out for a night out on the piss shortly before I left the army in London, and that was fucking ridiculous when you looked at the bank account the next day and you went, oh my God. But yeah, so that we call it. It's funny how it's labelled and how it's marketed. This is what I mean, right? We use the topic for the first 15 minutes chat, and then we fuck off in a tangent. It's funny how it's marketed and it's labelled nowadays. So you've just called it a time hassle, but it's arguably better labelled as something along the lines of thinking time, or what's a good word for it? It's about giving you the time to make an informed decision. So I've done minimal bits of online training.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so I've done minimal bits of online training, both when I had the Deployment Zone website and now with the things like the web store and stuff like that. And I've made decisions about how we monetize using YouTube, for example, and using the member system. So I know we hark on about members, and I know people have already gifted 33. Those people are amazing. Thank you for the gifting. Please don't stop doing this. But the reason why I've used the YouTube membership system rather than using my own website. So there's other businesses out there that use their own website, right? Famously, Tabletop Tactics use their own website, okay? I think Striking Scorpion has his own website. Mini Wargaming has his own website, right? You have SM Battle Reports used to have their own website. Deployment Zone, we used to have our own website. The reason why I don't do that is because of a bit of research, bit of reading, bit of learning, a little bit of some little courses that I've done, okay? And the reason being is because online will teach you when it comes to trying to sell people a product, a t-shirt, a mug, a membership, a super chat, remove as many barriers as possible. Because every click, every barrier that happens is another moment for a person to stop and think, do I really want to spend this money?
Yeah.
Do I really want to spend 25 quid on gifting 5 memberships? Do I really want to spend $6.99 or $5.99 a month on this monthly membership? Do I really want to buy a t-shirt? Like, do I really want to do that? Because the more clicks you do and you see that number, £30 for a t-shirt, or whatever it is, you might go, I don't need the t-shirt. And it gives your brain time to go, no, I don't think I actually want that or need that. And it's no real different to opening your wallet and seeing that you've got 60 quid in there and realising that if you buy that £30 t-shirt, half of that money is gone, right? And so what they teach you when it comes to things like online marketing is remove all the barriers, make it as fast as possible. So with YouTube, for example, very few people don't have their card details of some sort connected to their YouTube account. Very few people. Most people do. Scientifically, statistically, most people do, right? And so
Click done.
Thank you so much, Hubris. So to do what Hubris has just done is you click a $sign, right? I'll show you. You click a $sign, you click Super Chat, 2 clicks, you pick your amount, you type your message, you click buy and send, 3 clicks, done. That's it. And you've spent some money. And what we've done online at this point is we've reduced people's thinking time, which you say is a time inconvenience, but what companies are trying to do in general is they're trying to remove the inconvenience, but it's not an inconvenience. They don't want you to think about it.
I love the inconvenience. I think anything that's going to hassle me for time surely is a good thing. It's somewhere along the line. Things happen for a reason. Being hassled for time means, how many people being hassled in their human experience meant they were late for work and they were supposed to be in the Twin Towers and they weren't. Things have hassled them that made them late that could have been, many years later, slipstreamed into a much more convenient thing.
Oh, and obviously that's a very extreme example, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
So all of us trying to whittle out this hassling of our human experience, it's not making us streamlined, it's making us selfish and stressed out and unable to connect with each other.
It's making us more impatient, which means we move more towards the quicker option. So Mordyhammer just said Amazon is the worst for this. Buy it now as a button is literally find the product, 1-click buy. Right? 1-click buy. And so I like to think, in my mind at least, when we're selling our product, when we're offering for you guys to support us via things like Super Chats Gifted, like Awful Gamer and the 10 Gifted, thank you so much, TJ, hope you're doing well, you fucking legend. Things like this, I feel like I'm comfortable with it only because I feel like we're offering a great product. But Amazon, I think, knows that it sells a lot of shit, right? I feel like it just knows that it sells a lot of shit. So it knows that there's a lot of shit that people will go, do I really need a 17th set of headphones? Probably not.
Just maybe hassle yourself and go looking for the current pair.
Go find the first 16 pairs you've bought. But they'll go, but it's a Prime Day deal, Liam, and it's got exactly 13% off. Buy it now. One button. Oh, I've got a 17th pair of headphones coming. I don't have 17 pairs of headphones for reference. But still, you see what I'm saying, right? That convenience is not really a convenience. It's sold as a convenience, but it's not a convenience. It's what they're doing is they're removing your processing time for you to go, do I want to part? Because it's all digital, because the money spent is digital, it's like you don't have a processing time, you've just clicked buy, it's on its way. And very few people will go, I didn't really want that, and go and cancel the order.
Yeah, Dan just said that. The amount of times I've gotten through the PayPal window, looked at the price and then gone, actually, no, delete transaction, close the window.
So that's why PayPal arguably is good, because PayPal often there's an extra step to logging in for security, and it kind of gives you a little bit more processing time. But yeah, so I purposefully, TJ put, damn it, YouTube. I purposefully use YouTube because I wanted to remove as many barriers as possible, legitimately. Because we have big membership targets, we have big revenue targets, so we can pay for the inconvenient fucking studio, the aircon, the heating, the refuse collection, and Joe's eating habits. So, drunk purchase on Amazon, nightmare. I don't think I've ever drunk purchased on Amazon. Have you ever drunk purchased online and gone, why did I do that? I mean, you're never really drunk, though, are you, to be fair?
No, I'm pretty boring. Although, at the wedding weekend, I had a few drinks, and then it got to about 9 o'clock at night, and I went, ding, I'm done. I'd like to go back now. I'm done.
At the wedding, I hope Harry's not watching. At the wedding, the first part that they did was they removed all the barriers.
Yeah.
All the barriers, because they went, free bar. I was like, challenge accepted.
You were so sweet, though, because when I'd reached, my cup was full, and I was in the headspace of, this room is too loud, it smells funny, people keep trying to talk to me, which is really sweet, but I'm not a good conversationist now. I'd like to go back to the hotel room. And you were sort of giving over the key going, but I want to stay. And I went, yes, you should stay. This is Harry's wedding. I'm going to go. I'll see you later.
It's a trap.
Yeah. No, this feels like a trap. No, it's not a trap.
It was a trap.
You stay and drink. I'm going to go back and run a bath. No, this feels like a trap. Babe, it's not a trap.
Definite trap.
You stay, and then you were like, bacon sandwiches. Okay, fine, I'll stay for the bacon. Then we can go. But I don't want to go. I don't want you to want to go. It's fine.
I could sniff that bacon out. I didn't know where it was, but I could smell it.
But you were sort of like, you were halfway. You know when people dance towards you to try and coax you onto the dance floor? You were dancing towards me, and I was like, I'm not in the fucking mood, Liam. I want to go back to the hotel room. No, come on.
They removed all the barriers by going, here's a wristband, it's a free bar, which was great. So, free bar drinking.
Makes the new GW website all the more baffling. I still don't think wish lists are back.
They're not, Kaz, they're not, no. It is baffling how fucking challenging that thing is to make a purchase. I think they just rely on you in using independence. Actually, more about that in just a second. Jill's is coming.
Sod the hassle. I'll take the chip implant #Skynet.
Thanks, Kaz, for the 5. Thanks, Jill, for the 10. You people are fucking legends. How easy was it just to super chat, though? Genuinely. Not hard, is it? So they removed all the barriers by making it a free bar, which is fucking incredible. Which did mean that after the free bar had finished, I was like, can I have, I can't remember what I ordered, like 3 drinks or something, because I think I got me one, maybe you one and Andy one or something. She was like, oh, that'll be such and such pounds. I was like, that might be the last one.
I'm such a good wife. I pretty much was done about an hour after the free bar ended. I'm done now.
Yeah. So we waited for the bacon sandwiches and chips, obviously, and then we left.
Those chips were awful. How do you fuck up potato? I don't understand.
Plenty of people do it. Wow, bacon and a free bar, you lucky duck. We had, it was actually quite a nice wedding on the whole, to be fair. It was a very good wedding.
It was a very posh wedding.
Very posh wedding,
very posh.
Apart from the main course, which was Lancashire hot pot. Despite being in a very posh venue in a very posh area, it was like, what's for dinner? Lancashire hot pot. Great, brilliant. Fucking honestly, Northerners, you could take the people out of the north. You can't take the north out of the people.
And they're so like, definitely, I feel Southerners are more emotional than Northerners, because we walked up to the groom, we were like, how are you? And he was like, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, all right. And we were like, do you want anything? Are you okay? Yeah, I'm good, yeah. Yeah, just waiting for her to turn up, aren't I? You know, this is your wedding day.
M6 is shut. Someone's about to jump off. Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's really inconvenienced me. Yep. Amazing. Thank you so much, everybody, for the super chats, by the way, and for the gifted. You people are amazing. If we could at least hit the main target tonight, that'd be fine. If you're wondering why there's the 300 tomorrow, do we know what he wants for his 7th birthday?
So, I asked him a couple of weeks ago, and he said a violin.
That's not going to happen.
And I said, are you sure? Do you know what one of those are? Because that's not... Yep, a violin. Okay. All right, we'll put a pin in that. And then he said he'd like a watch. And I said, okay, well, we're still working on time. So what kind of watch did you want? The hands or the numbers? I would like the watch because Mr. Bean wears the watch. So I said, Mr. Bean also plays the violin. And he said, yes, he does. And I said, right, so do you want a Mr. Bean doll then? Not the violin or the watch. Do you want a Mr. Bean doll? No, I'd like the violin and the watch.
Right. We're not buying him a violin.
I'm going to see if there's a really... I have been told sheet music for violins is actually surprisingly
We're not buying him a
easy.
violin.
But if there's a kiddie one, you know how you can get like a kid's piano? It's literally a quarter of the size.
We're not buying him a violin.
I don't even know if there's a kid's
He
one.
doesn't want a violin. He doesn't. When you ask him anything, what do you want for your birthday, Christmas? It's literally what last cartoon he watched. He doesn't actually want the violin. It's the last thing that he watched when you asked him that particular time.
Okay.
He doesn't want a violin.
Okay.
Has he said anything other than a violin and a watch?
I wonder if at this point it's pointless because you're just going to veto them all.
Well, no, I'm not. No.
No?
No, but he's not. He said he's not a violin.
One day Sumei will decide what you want to buy before you know it. Take the money out of your account and leave it up to you to take steps to cancel. Perfect modern commerce.
I've heard a rumour, I don't know how true this is, but I've heard a rumour that in specific countries, I think China is one of them, if you get fined by, like, I guess the government for speeding, for example, right? So in this country, I don't know what it's like in other countries in the world, but in this country, if you get caught speeding, you will normally get a letter through within 14 days of the offence telling you that you've been caught doing an offence. And then you'll get given a fine to pay. And if you pay within a certain amount of time, it's a slightly reduced fine. And if it's speeding, for example, there'll be a license point system where they put points on your license. And if you get to a certain number of points, you get disqualified, blah, 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 right? But it's that. And then you have to fill it in or you have to go online and pay your fine, all that kind of stuff, right? I've heard that in China, or I think it was China, maybe it was Japan, but I think it was China, if you get caught speeding, by the time you're home, they've already issued your fine and taken it out of your bank. You don't have a choice. It's gone.
So I don't think that sounds ridiculous.
But for a person who advocates for cash, like that's terrifying.
No, I don't. I don't think that sounds unbelievable.
No, I absolutely don't think it sounds unbelievable.
Yeah.
But I'm like, so the government can literally just choose to take money out your bank.
Can you hear that?
Rain, yeah.
It's raining.
It's July weather. It's supposed to be global warming, not global raining.
I don't have to water the garden now.
Well, that was time inconvenience, was it?
It's more the water bill of
a violin in this economy. There goes the Dempsey playing with the London Philharmonic.
I will buy the musical instruments because I'm not going to stand over him and force him to learn violin. What I want him to do is touch the instrument, pluck some of the strings, maybe his fingertips hurt because it's soft skin, and then he puts it down for a year or two, and then maybe he picks it back up because now it's not totally alien to him and now he knows how hard it is. Instead of just buying him a violin, him being upset that he can't do it in 10 minutes because instant gratification, well then maybe he puts it under his bed for a year and then he gets it back out.
Harborn says, wait, it doesn't rain at times in the UK. Sometimes it doesn't rain. You're right. Johan, thank you for the 5 gifted. Dan says, thank you so much, man. You're a hero. Dan says, we're almost halfway. We're 2 away from being halfway. Dan says, when I was 7, all I wanted was Play-Doh. Nothing's changed. When I was 7, I think all I wanted was Lego. Like, literally, that was it. Lego. I don't think when I was 7 we even really had video games.
Happy birthday, little Liam. Also new shirt, smiley face, woo.
Oh, can I add the new shirt yet? I wouldn't let me add it earlier. Sometimes it does this weird thing where it goes, nope, you can't tag that product because it's not approved yet. Can't remember what you wanted when you were 7.
Yeah, I think it was probably something like rollerblades or...
Oh, I know I wanted a skateboard,
something.
but I think that was later than 7. Yeah, it's not on the thing yet. I can't tag it in the store. We do, however, team, have a brand new T-shirt, exclamation mark merch in the chat. Although at the moment, I'd much rather you just gifted all the memberships, right?
TJ has said, get involved with the local young people's music services. You can usually rent for a very reasonable amount. So I mentioned this to some of my home ed mums because they were asking if he's asked for anything. And someone's given me the email. I think it's of Southampton something or another. They help home ed children access music. And I can possibly rent a violin. Even just to hold it. I'm not going to stand over him at all and force him to learn violin. But just to go, here's a real violin, and they smell amazing.
Yeah. And they're fantastic little instruments. But the problem with kids nowadays in general, and I think this isn't ours are pretty good on the whole. I think this is just a common problem because everything's accessible now. Everything's accessible now. As a common problem, things are, I can have this, and then 3 months later, I don't want that anymore. I can start to do piano lessons, and then 3 months later, I don't want to do that anymore. I can start to do taekwondo 6 months later, I don't want to do that anymore. And that happened. I remember when...
Yeah, but you also need to allow the kids to say, I'm done, thank you.
To a point,
done.
but when there's a huge time and money investment, they go, yeah, I bought it now, I'm going to change to something different.
That's part of parenthood, babe. Money down the drain. They are lovely, adorable
I think we're going to have to agree to disagree on that one.
There's stuff to be spoiled little shits about. Going and experiencing things and finding your thing. Sometimes you have to spend the money.
I love that new shirt. Thank you, Jeremy. Hardboard, thank you for the 5 gifted. You fucking legend. We're over halfway. I haven't got a problem with spending money on things that they want and they like and they enjoy, but things that are going to be picked up for 5 minutes and put down, then what happens is you move into the realms of spoiled children that can do whatever they want whenever they want.
That's why you parent them at the same time and you go, this was the monetary value behind it. Please look after it.
What was good shows? Why not try and get him into an intro lesson? Probably cheaper than an actual violin. Super hard to learn, but hard to beat if you're good at it. You can whip people with your stick as well.
Yes, I imagine that's a perk of the job.
Yeah, that's why people pick violins. And the bigger people pick the cellos. It's a bigger stick.
Oh, they're the stronger ones, you see.
It is a cello. The big upright one is a cello, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, with the bigger stick. I don't know anything about. I know guitars and drums. That's about it, right? Thank you, Harborn, Miss of the Vortex Games, for the 5 gifted. I did reply to you on... we'll pick up that conversation on Discord at some point soon, by the way, bud. Thank you so much. We are over halfway to the first hurdle. If we're going to cover off his birthday, so we can afford this fucking violin that we're now buying that he'll use for 3 minutes.
Otherwise, he asked for Mario and Luigi dress up.
He does like dressing up.
Yeah.
I dread to think the amount of times I have actually found him at the top of the stairs in a Spider-Man outfit.
Yeah, and Zog. There was a time that Zog was emptying the dishwasher. That was interesting. I turn around and there's Ben. Give it 5 minutes, turn around, there's Zog.
It's still not the best dress up he's had though.
What is the budget we should all put together though for his gift? This is my first part of that.
Oh, Adrian,
Happy
thank
birthday,
you.
present.
Thank you so much, you legend. Don't do it again though. I remember the first Christmas when we were just moving into doing this full time.
When I was 7, I've got a PS1.
When did they come out, Lehman? I mean, you're about 9 now though, aren't you, in terms of age? A couple of years ago. What was I saying? Yeah, I remember do you remember the very first Christmas we did when we went full time? That was when they bought the Switch for the boys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're not doing that again. We're not doing that again. But thank you anyway, you fucking beautiful human. I appreciate you. Hello everyone. Sweet, I'm like number 69. Are we only on 70 likes? I pressed the button earlier as well. I left my kids pick 2 extra curriculars, 1 sporty, 1 educational, had to agree to attend for a whole term. Yeah, I like that kind of stuff. Like, you can do this thing. I'll put money into you doing this thing, but you do a full season of it. I lived in a slightly different time. I did judo and rugby for fucking Jesus knows how long. And there was definitely a couple of times where I was like, I'm done with judo. Mum was like, you fucking not. And I'm glad I was encouraged to stick at something. I played violin for over a decade. One of the biggest regrets of my life was not continuing getting to grade
Look
B.
at that unused violin behind Liam.
It's a fucking big violin, that one. Just Jupiter, thank you for the 1 gifted. That is minimal used.
If I can find a violin for not ridiculous money.
What's not ridiculous money though? That's another thing. I have no idea what these things cost.
I'd need to find out how much a violin costs, because I found a violin. The maisonette that we moved into.
For reference, by the way.
Here he goes.
I've got absolute zero issue whatsoever with them choosing to learn an instrument. I'd much rather they did that than played video games. But I feel like the violin is just because I've seen it on Mr. Bean once and it's currently fresh in my mind.
How do kids aspire to be anything, babe?
Yeah,
because they see it modelled before them.
But it's not like for 6 months he's been like, violin. He's done it. We said it once.
Right? Babe, everyone starts somewhere.
About tree finny. Violins are quite a bit. But are they? Like, I'm sure there's accessible ones nowadays. Played cello when I was 7, 8, then guitar bass from 13-ish. I played a lot of guitar when I was a kid because I wasn't allowed a drum kit. Because Mum, arguably rightly said, having had one in here for about a year or so, it's far too fucking loud. And they are. So I learnt guitar instead. And much like the person who said it, second born who said it, I played it until about 18, 19 and was okay. Like, I was one of those people that would pick a guitar tab from a favourite band and be able to kind of play the tune so that it was borderline recognisable, not too bad. But I wasn't someone who ever did proper lessons because my family couldn't really afford proper lessons. And it was just literally self-taught guitar tab. The one regret that I had when I moved to the army, I mean, basic training you can't, but when I went to Arborfield, I could have taken my guitar with me because it was a guitar and an amp and some headphones, right? That's why Mum agreed to the guitar, because I could plug headphones into the amp. They wouldn't have to listen to it. So I should have taken it with me. I didn't touch it. Didn't touch it for the whole of my army career. I literally didn't pick one up until that came in the house at the end of last year, and I picked it up and it was like. It's not like getting back on a bike at all. It's like, oh, this is really fucking hard because I haven't done it for 20 years.
What's that? You're letting life hassle you in your human experience? Gosh, I do wonder what lesson you took from that, babe.
What lesson?
That I like being hassled because I like the way it sounds. Yeah. I like the way it feels. I enjoy this hassling. I'm going to learn a skill at the end of all the hassling.
Well, this is exactly... So we talked about this recently, actually. This is exactly what I mean. Is hassle really hassle?
No.
And is anything worth having if it's no hassle at all? Do you know what I mean? Like, if anything is no effort and you just get it, whatever it might be, is it really worth it?
If everything was effort. Or if nothing was effort.
If it's no effort at all, is it really worth it?
No.
Is anything worth having... free, easy, and no effort at all? I don't think it is. I think anything that's worth having is something you have to put time and effort into.
But then let's say that we get him the violin, we find a bargain, and it's not been mistreated, it's just not been picked up. So the bow needs replacing, maybe that's about it. And then Ben plays it, it hurts his fingers because it's a string instrument, and then I go, how you get on with your violin? And he now has to anticipate my...
Of course we are not buying a second Switch. You can return it in 30 days anyway.
Thanks, Adrian.
He now has to anticipate my half of the conversation when he says, I actually don't like it, Mum, and I know I asked you this for my birthday, and I know it cost money, but I don't like it, and you're going to keep asking me how I'm getting on, and I don't want to lie. He has to now learn this conversation. So although we've learned a skill, nothing to do with the violin, he has learned how to politely let me down.
I feel like if he was like 9 or 10, that'd be relevant, but at his current age, he's like, this is the same boy that's like sat at dinner table, half a plate of food left. Mm-hmm. His little mind words away, chat, and he goes, is there any pudding? So if you say no, he goes, cool, I can't eat much more. I'm done. And if you say yes, he's like, I know what they're going to say. I can't have pudding unless I finish my dinner. Mm-hmm. So is there any pudding? Yes. Okay. Then he keeps eating his dinner. So I don't think that's how his mind computes quite yet about that part of the conversation.
Why does he do that? Because we've parented him into saying, Ben, if you're going to ask for ice cream and you've not finished your dinner, then you can finish your dinner.
Yeah.
They're not feral, babe, and they're not rude. We've had too many people tell us our boys are lovely. They're not spoiled.
They're a little bit feral. Varita says, hang on.
Stepdad passed during COVID and had a violin. If his other kids don't want it, you can borrow it for 6 months. But you will need to pay for the courier and look after it. If he likes it, open to offers. It's full size.
That's incredibly kind, Yestin, but surely is that not something you'd want to keep in the family? Are you in Discord? Because you could DM Luce about it if she's serious about this. Although Veritas did say, I feel like a better instrument to start on would be a grand piano. Buy your poor starving child a grand piano, Liam. Thank you, Yeston, for the 20 as well, man. What a legend. Compromised drum kit. We had one in here, and he did kind of play it a little bit. I played it a bit. The thing is with the drum kit is they're a huge footprint, and they take up a lot of space, and they make a shitload of noise. Children are feral. All children are feral. It's fine.
So my half of the drum kit conversation got completely steamrolled over, and I'm so glad that adventure failed on its ass because it proved my point beautifully. So my dad is a drummer. I've had drums somewhere in the background of my life since I could remember. I think the drum kit was in my room when it was a nursery, and the cat used to sleep in the bass drum. So it doesn't bother me about the noise. It doesn't bother me about the footprint of it. What does bother me is people standing over children, pressuring them to learn an instrument. It's a part of your brain that has to light up especially to learn it.
Filthy casual shirt bought.
Thanks,
Thumbs
Des.
up.
And
Thanks,
anyone who's honed a skill knows you need to want to do it. Or have
100%.
some serious inspiration as to why you need to do it.
I don't think it's just honing a skill. I think it's almost anything. You have to want to do it, absolutely.
When has it ever worked to stand over a teeny tiny human who knows their shit at this thing because they're brand new at it, and then being held to a grade? There's a reason James stopped his piano lessons.
Because of his teacher.
Because every week I would say, don't give him homework. That means nothing in our house because all of it is at home. I don't mind that he's not making a grade of any kind. I'm not actually using it to use piano. I'm using it to learn a second language and to learn coordination. It's a gateway topic to get to the promised land, if you like. I really don't care that he's not on a grade of piano. And for maybe a year, 18 months, James didn't tell me that every time he was going in and it'd be, have you practiced at home? No, because mum told you. Well, I'd like you to practice at home. So now James, who's been told not to backchat his elders, now has his piano teacher contradicting what his mum has said.
Yeah.
So when the drum kit failed, I was like, good! Now will we listen? Stop standing over the children as they're trying to learn.
For reference, neither of us stood over them for the drum kit either. That wasn't something that happened.
No, that was my lovely dad, good intentions going, I've made a little video.
So I get your dad being incredibly excited though.
Yeah.
As a person who's been a drummer since fucking 18, I think he said he taught himself, 19 or something. So I get him being super excited, but when he puts that much pressure on it, like the piano teacher, like why do I don't want to be that guy. I competed at judo when I was younger, and we had gradings to go all the way up through the coloured belts. I can't remember the exact order, but we had gradings to go all the way through the coloured belts. There are competitions to win medals. I have gold medals hanging in the garage, right? So I've been a kid who's been involved in this, and I get that the option to work towards something is nice.
Most children start learning the violin between the ages of 5 and 7. So if your child wants to learn the violin as a hobby or hopes to take it more seriously, the 5 to 7 age is a great age to start.
Adrian, thank you for the 50, dude. What a legend. Also, Liz, thank you for the 5 gifted. Rue, thank you for the 5 gifted. We are only 32 away from the first 100 and only half an hour to go to get the extra 232. Go for it, chat. I believe in you. I believe in you. So having the option to have something to work towards is quite nice, right? Mm-hmm. I have no problems with that whatsoever. But I feel like too often now, we almost force the need to have something to work towards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Happy birthday from me as well. But if the last show watched determines what kids want, weren't cartoons dangerous enough already? Watch a kids movie instead, like Halloween or Austin Powers.
Yeah, thank you so much for the 100 Swedish, you legend. Halloween or Austin Powers, those classic kids movies. I mean, the thing is, the other thing as well is some of television itself is literally designed to market to children, to get them to nag adults to buy certain things. You have to look at some of the actual advertisements that exist for children's-based products, and they're pretty fucking shocking, to be perfectly honest. Dats and Des, thank you for the gifted. He's also bought a t-shirt loose. We have a hat trick.
Thanks, Ray.
Thank you so much, Ray, you beautiful human being, right? So, what was I saying? I was saying something before I got onto that. God, you've thrown me off now.
You raffle on a lot, babe.
Oh no, in terms of having something to work towards. So the piano teacher, right? Mm-hmm. There is also having something to work towards is great. And if you want to work towards the next grading, the next belt, the next grade, the next swimming level, whatever it might be, cool, okay. But it's also okay to be like, just happy having a go. I don't want to work towards lifting my personal best. I don't want to work towards the next grade on piano. I don't want to work towards the next belt at jiu-jitsu. I don't want to work to that. I want to come, do the exercise, learn the skill, use the dexterity, engage my brain, and I'm done. That's all I care about. But it feels like sometimes there's people we know where kids are going up to near black belt in a specific discipline. You're like, there's no way. That you're a fucking black belt.
No, they're not. They don't have.
But we had this with taekwondo as well. Yeah. We'd like to put Ben in for the next grading.
Why? He's fucked around this whole time. Why?
He's literally done none of it. Like he's just turned up and ran around.
I was the one going, no.
Yeah. And they're like, no, if we put him in the next training, we can give him a belt.
Why? He's not heartbroken that he doesn't have the belt.
Then he'd come out with his little belt and his certificate. You're like, how did you get that? No fucking idea.
They just gave it to me, and I shook their hand.
Why do we have to work towards something?
Right, so
it's almost like 40k in events and stuff, right? I playing an individual game to win is fine, but why does everyone need to be like, I need to, like, and there's people that are building business models of this. Why does everyone need to be like, I need to go to a tournament and win all the tournaments? I need to be top of the ITC. Why can't you just play the hobby for the enjoyment of playing the hobby? Why can't you just play the piano for the enjoyment of playing the piano?
So what I do on a Thursday, part of their dice roll, is we have a keyboard, because James did 18 months of piano lessons, and I thought it's a shame to just let that skill set fade. So we'll keep it up, keep tinkering. I won't push him. If he says to me, I think I know what this means, but I can't remember, then Google it and we can do a piece of music. And now I'm just photocopying one strip of music with no words. So even if he recognised the song, he'd then guess the music. So it's just the notes. And he has his music sort of, I think I call it a music alphabet, but it's just a picture of a keyboard and where all the notes are.
Yeah.
So he has to Sherlock Holmes it. He has to figure out, and halfway through the song, you can hear him go, oh, I think I know this one. And it'll be things like Three Blind Mice or something.
Yeah.
And then he'll go, yeah, that's it. And then he does the whole muscle memory, and then the left hand comes in, which is your bass clef, and he'll find, he's amazing. But it's only if he pulls it out, and it's half an hour. So I can go, you can either roll again or give it a go. And then, because this is why I think he has a PDA profile, because there's the options of, you're learning something today, so is it this one or do you want to roll again? Most of the time he goes, no, I'll have a go at that. Yeah. Which then Ben follows him in.
Yeah.
So Ben starts touching.
I can't read music.
I can only read it because I've had to help James to read it.
I
can't play it.
I could probably learn to read music, but the problem is, like, as you get older, learning is harder.
Yeah.
It just is.
But Ben, so Mystic says here, does he want to learn to play a violin or does he want a violin? So he just wants a violin. He doesn't want to learn to play it. He probably thinks it sounds only that way because Mr. Bean plays it only that way.
Yeah.
We don't really listen to music that is very heavy violin.
The problem I have, chat, is the genuine problem I have is if we were to pull him aside tomorrow morning on his birthday and say, right, what do you want for your birthday? He will almost definitely not say a violin. It will say something completely different. And this is the issue with the world that kids live in now. It's not his fault. There's not a lot we can do about it. We're trying to help as best we can, but it's not entirely his fault the problem that when you live in a world of constant and instant gratification and everything's literally at the tip of your fingertips, we go back to this digital cash-based conversation. Everything's literally at the tip of your fingertips all the time. And social media, I say social media, he's not on social media. He watches things like kids' YouTube. So social media and TV is just, here's all the things all the time, all the things all the time. Kids are like, what do you want? I don't know what I want. I want all the things. I'm being shown all the things all the time. I want all the things. And that's, that's where it's a real challenge sometimes to actually nail down what the thing is that is something that you actually properly genuinely want. It's like so we do a thing, okay, where we have what's called a download day, right? So the kids have got tablets that they use for their home ed and they use for education, and they also use it for playtime, and they're heavily parentally restricted, but they use it for things like that. And they have consoles and what have you. Now, Luce had to put in place, I won't take any credit for this is a Luce thing, Luce had to put in place a system whereby on the first day where they get to play games of the month, that is the only day where they're allowed to download a new app or download a new game, or because otherwise it got ridiculous because of this instant gratification that exists nowadays. It got ridiculous for, I want to delete that app and add that app. I want to delete that app and add that app. Right, you've done 5 in 2 days, for fuck's sake. Just settle on something and play that one thing. So we put this system in place to kind of stop them from constantly switching, right? And so download day exists. Now my eldest is a person who will spot the thing that he wants maybe 2 weeks ago, and he'll look at the calendar and he'll know it's download day coming, and he'll wait, and download day will hit, and he'll be like, this is the thing that I've had my eye on, right? Because he's great, because he stops and thinks about things, because he's 11. My youngest, who's to be 7 tomorrow, he's the person who comes down, realizes it's download day, goes onto the app store, scroll, find the first one that catches my attention, have that one, and then in half an hour he's like, I'm bored of this one, you've used your download. But this is the problem of the modern world in general, though, when everything's in front of you all the time and everything's permanently accessible.
Well, I got my old radio out for James because we were talking about frequencies and CDs and cassettes and how you can rewind a cassette with a pencil. Fascinated for about an hour. Ben was then playing with the frequency of how you found a radio station, and he figured out
the dial.
Yeah, he figured out that if you extend the antenna, you can get a better reception. Then he figured out that when he touched it, the signal was stronger, and when he let go, it got fuzzy again. I haven't told him any of this. I just let him tinker with it for another hour.
Yeah.
And I really do think he's going to be one of those kids that will take a screwdriver to the back of that radio, because everything's so thin now. Mobile phones are so thin that it is now taking screwdrivers to stuff we grew up with, because how does it all fit in there? And then you can see the progression of how technology got here. So the violin, I'm not telling him it makes a noise. I'll let Mr. Bean do that, because then when he plucks the string himself, he'll feel so clever and happy that he made that noise. I don't want to rob him of that. There's so much that kids don't get now because it's all been streamlined for them.
Because we've removed the time hassle.
Yeah, we've removed the hassle. So I want him to be hassled.
So if there was ever a reason to say that you should turn your hobby into a job, it's because the time hassle, the shit that I moan about, the accountancy stuff and the parking and all that kind of time hassle stuff that we've been talking about essentially all the way through, actually when you then stop and think about it, is worth it. Mm-hmm. Because you get to do your hobby as your job. Mm-hmm. So there's 2 ways of looking at it, actually, thinking about it now in hindsight after calming down, having done some of my accounts earlier. One way you can look at it is this is a massive inconvenience, a real pain in the arse, it's loads of extra work just so I can have my hobby as my job. The other way of looking at it is, here's some time hassle that I have to do, but then I get to do my hobby as my job. It's a much nicer way of looking at it when you think of it that way. So, we actually brought it back on topic kind of a little bit there. That was the only touching on the topic we'll have. Sent photos to use on Discord. And the violin as well. 4.5 second attention span. What is? Some people do it to keep fit, be confident, win tournaments, teach others, and stick it out to make. There's nothing wrong with doing it, though, Evan. This is the point, right? In terms of going for grades or wanting to win tournaments or wanting to progress or wanting to get better, there's nothing wrong with doing any of those things. I need to, to be very clear, there's nothing wrong with wanting to work to black belt. There's nothing wrong with wanting to learn sheet music. There's nothing wrong with wanting to get to grade whatever the grade 10 or I don't know what the highest grade is. I don't know how grading works for musical instruments, to be honest with you. There's nothing wrong with all of those things. All of those things are perfectly fine. There's also nothing wrong with doing it just for the enjoyment. That's also perfectly fine. You don't have to cycle. You don't have to go running because you want to enter the London Marathon. You can go running just because you enjoy running. You don't have to start doing karate because you want to be a black belt and compete in the World Championships. You can just do it because you just enjoy it. It's okay, right? If you start doing boxing training, so one of the best forms of like physical fitness we ever did in the army was boxing training, boxing circuits. I loved them. I never intended to be, and I went. Do you know, this is interesting? I went to on camp. This is before we had our Mary quarter. They started. We did a couple of sessions in our PT of boxing circuits, and I thought fucking great exercise. And it wasn't just like doing squats for the sake of it. There was reason to it all, and you had like because it's all about posture and moving and positioning and all the footwork and stuff like that. And so the second you put a purpose behind the thing, I find it's much easier for me to do the thing, right? So I was like, and they started up a boxing club, and I was like, I'm gonna go to boxing club because I fucking love that fitness. There's one way I'm gonna stay fit, be boxing club, because it'll all be boxing circuits and stuff like that. So we turned up. Why do you want to do it? Why do you want to do it? Just for the fitness. Okay, cool, right? And then on the second session, not the first one, but the second session, about fucking half an hour in, I was there getting punched in the face. I was like, I don't want to be punched in the face. I know it's boxing as a club, but I was like, I'm not here for that. I don't want to fight. I'm not interested in doing the fights. I just want to do the fitness. I'm happy to do the first 45 minutes of the session, which is all the fitness, and the last 45 minutes or the last half an hour when you're then sparring. If it's just gentle sparring for fitness, fine. But if you're actually going to start boxing, I don't want to do that because I've done MMA and I've done taekwondo and I've done judo and I've done some boxing. I am fucking terrible for remembering my guard. Terrible for it. So guess what happens? You just get punched in the face because you forget your guard and they go, whoop, bang. Oh, fucking hell, right? And I've got a big fucking head as well, so it's hard to miss. So I was always terrible. So I was like, I don't want to do the fighting. I just want to do the fitness. I'm like, no, if you're at a boxing club, you've got to want to fight.
Yeah.
Why can't I just do the fitness?
Yeah, why have you turned the thing into a job now?
Yeah, kinda, yeah, right? Absolutely. I did judo to learn judo chop. Dave, you can fuck off. Clive the Kiwi, thank you for the one gifted. 30 to go for the 100 chat. 17 minutes, no, 20, yeah, 17 minutes left. I don't think we're going to cover off tomorrow.
That's an amazing suggestion, Dan. Get him the violin, and if he doesn't like it, make sure it's put up as an ornament. He can come back to it. Don't stick it under the bed and forget about it. I love that. Put it on the wall. So can I get that down, Mum? Of course you can.
Well, the drum kit, although we did get rid of it because it wasn't being used very often at all, there were occasions where he would come...
We couldn't put that on the wall.
No! Well, we could. But I'd be sat like this right now.
Imagine that as a doorbell. Boom, boom, boom.
But sometimes, because it was in here, it was basically in this area here. Sometimes what he would do is he would come in and he'd pick the stick up. Yeah. Now, I think that if it was I reckon maybe if it was an electric drum kit, right, we would have overcome a hurdle here because he was also very conscious of the fact that it made noise when he hit it with the stick, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes he'd come in with a stick and he'd look at you and he'd be like, and I'm like, you go for it, mate. You crack on. Yeah. And Luce made a little cover for the snare, which had a blue circle and a red circle. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And then there was videos on YouTube, but it tells you blue, 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 or whatever, or blue, red, blue, red, blue, red, or blue, blue, red, blue, blue, red. And he used to do that. Yeah. And when you just let him get on with it, and he'd come in and he'd pick up the stick and he'd look at me because I would be working over in that corner, and he'd look at me and be like, "Go on, go for it.
Well,
hit the drum kit."
You came in the kitchen. It was either last Thursday or the one before, and he was doing a little bit of keyboard, and I didn't realise that you'd never seen him play the keyboard. And he played something like Wheels on the Bus or something, but he played it keeping rhythm with one hand. He wasn't looking at the keyboard, he was looking at the sheet music, which for a 6-year-old is really simple sheet music, but there was no panic. He felt quite confident that he knew intuitively where the keys were, and you were just watching him, and I was sort of smiling at you watching him thinking, oh yeah, he's normally at work, he doesn't see Ben do the keyboard. So then when people do say, really though, are they actually going to play it? Yes.
I don't have if it's a thing that they genuinely have an interest in. I have no problems in throwing money at things that I genuinely have an interest in. The problem I have is when it's a 30-second interest because they've seen it somewhere that isn't a genuine actual interest. So if we're sure a thing is an interest, I'm like, let's do it. Especially when it comes to things like instruments or sport. Because if it's like a genuine interest in a video game, I'm like, oh no, for fuck's sake, come on. If it's a genuine, if like I as a sport, right? I'll be straight up. I fucking hate cricket. I don't like cricket at all. I find it boring. I find it not very interesting. I just don't like cricket. It's not my cup of tea. Personal preference. I have no problems with people that like cricket. My dad and my brother adore it. I just don't fucking like it whatsoever. If my eldest came to me and was like, Dad, I want to get into some sport, I'd be like, okay, like father-son sport time, I'm into it. And I want to do cricket. I'd be like, deep down, I'd be like, for fuck's sake. But do you know what I'd do? If it was something that he was genuinely really into, I'd take him to fucking cricket. Despite the fact I don't like it. Because it's not about me, it's about him learning something. So if he really wants the violin, if James got to a point where he really wanted a piano and he kept on about it for a while, I'd be like, you know what, let's find a way of making this work. Let's find a way of making it work. And I would, absolutely. But I'm very conscious of the fact that in 2024, it's very, very easy for a kid to be like, I want this, I want this, I want this. Because it's instant gratification, no time hassle all the time nowadays. Mordy Hammer, thank you for 5 gifted. 5 more gifted from Mordy Hammer. Awful Gamer, thank you for 5 more gifted as well, you fucking beautiful humans. We are on 80 of the finest memberships. Thank you so much, you glorious, glorious human beings. You're amazing. Well, 2020 is all right. Yes, and yeah, I'll give you that one.
I feel like I could use my own example when people maybe get a bit disheartened that they've bought their kid this thing and now they're not touching it, because there's an intimidation there of now it's here and I have to use it and I don't know how to use it. There's a pressure. So we went into.
Well, that's why at the moment if I ever get that out, you're not here.
Yeah.
I don't like it. It's really petty. I know it's really petty and it's arguably a little bit childish. I don't like the idea at the moment, at least, that you guys can hear what I'm doing because it sounds bad.
Yeah, but having people witness you sounding bad is good.
I'm sure it probably is, but I don't want you to hear it at the moment, at least.
Yeah, but you can't just put out into the world that you're the finished project first time we've seen you, because that's also. Is it disingenuous to other people who follow you as an influencer?
Well,
we
this
hate
is the
that
weird
word, but like you're not perfect.
This is the weird world that we live in, though, isn't it? This is the weird world that we live in because of things like Facebook, social media.
You're perpetuating that by not allowing people to hear your shitness.
Well, I mean, no one on Instagram or YouTube is ever going to hear any of the ness for that.
No, but 3 of us can go, Dad was fucking awful when he picked that up. Then all of a sudden, it's obtainable. Being good at guitar is actually plausible because a regular person was shockingly shit at it and didn't hide that bit away. We got to see that bit. Not just the good bits, not just the perfect bits. We got to see the shit bits too.
Why would Jill abandon us? I don't know. Why would she? What's that about, wee man? Carry on.
But I wanted to learn to cook properly. And the second that you want to learn to cook, well, that's it. Your mobile phones are listening to you. So all the reels are coming up. All the videos. You can make French pastry in your normal kitchen. Right, well, I just want to master a really good jacket potato first. We're not even talking about birthday cake. That's ridiculous. I went and bought a mixer. It was on an unbelievable discount, so it'd be stupid to walk away from it anyway. Left it in the kitchen for about a month, didn't use it. Because now it's in the house, and now I have to use it, and now it's a big scary machine that I don't know what it does, and that looks like it could chop my finger off if I put my hand there. And now, it's like my assistant in the kitchen. It absolutely does your assistant's jobs. Same with my sewing machine. I knew I wanted to sew, but I had to learn how to sew.
Right. I think it's probably safe to say, without trying to be, I'm not trying to be a sexist pig here, right? I think it's safe to say your 2 biggest hobbies are your sewing and your cooking. Would you call them both big hobbies?
No.
Okay, why?
Because I'm not going. I don't. They are purposeful, so they're not for my free time. It's because I need to plug a hole somewhere.
But there's still a hobby, like specifically the sewing is still a hobby, and I would argue that the way that you make food is a hobby. because you don't just make meals, you literally make meals.
But that's not. So no, I wouldn't say it's my hobby. My hobby is giving you three the best I can give. It's ridiculous. I'm aware of what I sound like.
I feel like you're doing this the wrong way round, though.
No, I'm aware of what I sound like, but I think it's because.
That's not a hobby, Lou.
No, I think I don't know if I do have a hobby then. I think I just, like, say if Emmy, if she was having a problem, that's now my new hobby. How can I make that problem smaller for her?
But what have you just been... That's not a hobby, though. That's like a job.
But I get, like, the warm fuzzies off of...
So what have you been doing today?
Making placemats for the boys.
Do we need placemats?
Yes.
No.
Yes, we do.
No, we don't. We have placemats.
On their TV tray.
We could use the placemats we already have that we bought from the shop.
No, we can't. I already tried it. They slip and slide all over the place. There needs to be friction and fabric.
We don't need... All right, we could have just folded a tea towel. We didn't need placemats, did we?
I could have folded a tea towel. Thank you for realising that I've just wasted 6 hours.
But no, you haven't,
2 days
though.
Off.
But you haven't,
Thank
though.
You.
You haven't wasted 6 hours because have you enjoyed what you've been doing up there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've enjoyed creating something.
Yeah, but now I've done it, I'm going to pack it away for maybe 2 months.
But it's a hobby.
But a hobby's a thing you return to on a very, very regular basis.
Not necessarily. I don't think so. I would still to this day consider falconry a hobby of mine. Haven't done it for years.
I wouldn't. I'd say now that's been in the cupboard for too long and you've got skill fade.
I think, considering how often you're doing things with needles or on sewing, that would be considered a hobby, right? We don't need it. You don't do it to survive, and it's not currently a paid for job. So it's a hobby, ultimately.
I suppose.
Learning to create something, learning to make those placemats, which are, by the way, I picked up the first one yesterday. I was like, well, that's fancy. It wasn't what I expected. When you started making the placemat, I was like 2 bits of fabric sewn together around the edge, right? Luce was like, oh, no. I'm going to lattice loads of material. Oh. So she made these placemats, right? So that's a hobby that you've done, that you've worked at, and you've been time inconvenienced learning things. For example, how time inconvenienced have you been with things like the sewing machine until you've now finally got to a point where you're able to use it regularly? It's not breaking on you. That's taking you quite a while, right? Okay, so this is definitely becoming harder than it should have been. So we've established that sewing is a hobby. Okay.
Okay.
Just fucking say yes for the purposes of this content. For Christ's sake, woman, you're in an argumentative mood tonight as it is. Right. So good. We've established that. So I would suggest also that to some degree there is a level of your cooking that has become a hobby of yours, right? So in terms of basic nourishment and cooking food for the family and cooking food for the kids and making sure they've got food, I would agree that is not a hobby, right? But in terms of going a step further and making a lot more than what most people make from scratch and learning how to make some things that we've previously just bought in a shop, that then I think starts to step into the realms of being a hobby. So it's not a necessity.
Some of that is because I'm a tight ass. And when I'm buying bread and I'm going, how much is this? I can make that for cheaper at home. Right, that's going back on the shelf.
So some of it, I think, could step into the realms of being a hobby. So we'll get to the point I was going to actually ask. Right, 5 up save. Thank you for the 1 gifted membership. What a legend. Thank you so much, man. This is what I'm going to ask. Would you ever want to take one of those 2 hobbies and turn it into a full-time job?
Having worked in kitchens, no, not the cooking. I've never witnessed so many bad tempers in 1 12-hour shift, so no. And the fabric, no.
Why?
Because I don't want to make things for other people.
Okay.
Because let's say, so I'm making my seat cushion as well because I'm sick and tired of trying to wipe away bird shit with a magazine because I didn't bring any wipes with me. If people say, oh, that's nice, Luce, can you make me one? No, make it yourself.
So, where I want to go with this as well, because I'm trying to pull this on topic slightly but make it relevant to everyone. What I want you to do, chat, right, is if you have a hobby that you would like to turn into a job, what is it? If you don't want to turn any of your hobbies into a job, why not? That's what I want to hear from you people now. Okay? We are also 19 members away from hitting 100. I don't think we're going to cover off tomorrow. I'm going to have to do extra streams now to cover off tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah. They don't love us enough.
I just think if somebody did say, that's nice, can you make me one? Wouldn't it be fantastic if you learned to do it yourself?
Yeah, but some people don't want to.
Wouldn't that be... Then stop being lazy and asking other people to do your shit.
It's not, but you're not asking someone else to do your shit. If someone wants a fancy lattice placemat,
go and buy one.
They could.
Yeah, stop hassling me. Stop giving me your human experience hassle.
But going and buying one, is no different to asking you to make one necessarily.
Yes, it is.
Not if they're going to be like, I'll give you some money for it. I'll pay you for your time.
No, because then you'd have to say, right, well, that's going to take me 2 hours to make, and you need to supply the fabric because I don't know what you want it to look like. If I say 2 times minimum wage hours, they'll be like, no, I'll just buy one. Right, go and buy one then, or learn to do it yourself.
Lucy's in a grump today, chat. I don't know if you can tell. Buying, building, and playing hobby painting, on the other hand, yeah, a lot of women do not have actual hobbies because of the expectations of being the lead parent or person to look after the home, which is a shame. And I both love and hate it when Lucy's like, my hobby is making sure you 3 are all right. That's not a hobby. Your hobby should be for you. But don't give me this for me, because it's not for you, is it?
It is for me. Imagine the warm fuzzies I get when James says something like, oh, we had donuts last night. Oh, yeah, me and Mum made them. What? Your mum can make donuts? Warm fuzzies right there, like, yes, I can make donuts. I had a mum say it to me on Monday, you can't make donuts. Yes, you can.
So at that point, the cooking's the hobby?
No, the hobby is enjoying the warm fuzzies, because the lost art of cooking...
Right, so this is going to be interesting here, because there's another part to the question I asked you. I would turn knife scissor sharpening into a job if I could do enough. I make some money here and there for it, but not full-time job worthy. Not yet full-time job worthy. I wouldn't want to turn a hobby into a job. I love the work I do, and I enjoy having something I can switch off with occasionally. Interesting. I could take a hobby and painting and turn it into a job. I even have a good and fairly unique channel idea, but couldn't afford the switch over, as in switching from doing your job at the moment, Warhammer, to doing the hobby job. Is that what you're talking about?
I think I could turn a passion into a full-time job, but not a hobby. A passion can get you through obstacles, and you can do it your whole life, but not a simple hobby. Happy birthday to your boy.
Thank you, Evan. You're a legend. Aww. Can we get to 100 members for the happy birthday chat? Can we do that? Would love to do beekeeping full-time. Did the math and the finances don't add up. I need about 100 hives, which is not possible to have locally. You can have 10 together in any one place normally. Is that true? I didn't know that. I'd happily make leatherworking into a business, but people just don't want to pay handmade prices these days. The Doug, that genuinely saddens me.
Yeah.
Because things like Temu and Etsy.
Yeah, I know.
I got an email from Temu. We would like to talk to you about sponsorship opportunities. And I replied to Temu. I didn't use these words because I'm much more polite in my professional-based communications. My reply was, I would like you to fuck off. I didn't say those words. I did say that again, to be clear. But my answer was absolutely fucking not. Not a chance.
Yeah.
If Deuce doesn't want to do it for others, it's not work job, so it's by her own definition is a hobby. I know a guy who paints for another channel, and he said he hates the thought of building or painting most of the time now. Stop talking to Joe, AWOL, alright? A hobby is a distraction from work and home. It can be, yeah. The pride and accomplishment, not a hobby. Stick Monkey, thank you for the 1 gifted membership, you fucking beautiful human being. Membership train, go! My hobby is building battle boards. Love to do it full time. Interesting. And so how many of you have got hobbies? Would you ever think about, like, have you ever actually thought about giving it a go full time? Would you give it a go? Sean has bought a t-shirt.
Ready? Oh, the dog's off again. She likes that.
He did buy a t-shirt. Thank you for the 1 gifted, Jill. I don't know if Jill bought a t-shirt. Oh, we have had more orders. No. Thank you, Jill, for the 1 gifted. That's the membership train starting for the happy birthday to Ben. I love cooking as a hobby. Done it as a job for 5 years, never again. However, if anyone wanted help learning to cook, I would be there. After doing it as a job, TJ, do you find it easy to go back to as a hobby, or is it harder? Luke, thank you for the 1 gifted. We have got a membership train on the go. Why is Luke grumpy this evening? Well, I think we're both just exhausted. We had a great weekend away.
Wait, let me look at my calendar.
It's the reason why I'm wearing this colour chat. We had a great weekend away, but it's a fucking drain on your back. So, to be clear, right? Some of you will know, because some of you have been on this journey with us, and some of you won't know this, okay? Hoganhammer, thank you for the one gifted. Hoganhammer's a great name. So some of you won't know this. Our eldest has a monitoring device in his heart, right? Because 4 years ago? 4 years ago,
Yeah.
he had a number of light collapses, followed up by quite a serious seizure. And so he underwent loads of testing, and they found a couple of heart conditions. And they were tempted to pace him, but we're talking about, at that point, a 7-year-old. They decided, Priddis, thank you for the one gifted. They decided not to pace him, and instead they put a reveal device in, which sits underneath the skin in his heart and monitors his heart condition. And it sends data to a little box in his room. It sends data across to the hospital, and they keep an eye on it. And thankfully, touching all the wood, we haven't had a serious collapse in 2+ years now.
This Christmas will be the third one.
Third one.
Yeah, so we're on a bit of a streak.
And part of the reason for that is because it might be that he's growing out of it, and the heart muscle's growing stronger and all that kind of stuff. And part of it for that will be because we now recognise the signs really fucking early on, and we're able to intervene before it gets to that stage. Now, the youngest, up until about 4 months ago,
Yeah.
no signs at all of having anything similar whatsoever. Then it started. Now, it's not uncommon in kids to have collapses. Syncope seizures are typically what they're called, but it's not uncommon. It happens anyway. But because of the history that we had with our eldest, which was pretty fucking terrifying, to say the very least, we are very hyper aware of all the signs and symptoms. And it started with the youngest recently, okay? And so Luce has kind of taught him what the feelings are that he's experiencing, so he can tell us when he's feeling those feelings. And also we know how to kind of manage it. Johan, thank you for the 5 gifted, you fucking legend. Biblical Nipple, though, thank you for the 10 gifted, you fucking legend. Bunch of absolute heroes, all of you. Thank you so much. So, we're almost going to be making up for Thursday. Look. So, so that's been going on for a bit. It happens, you know. It's not entirely uncommon in kids. Where there's a little bit of concern there because the eldest has it, but it isn't normally something that's hereditary or passed down. Anyway, on Saturday, he went through an absolute fucking roller coaster. So we were supposed to drop him off at 10 in the morning at my parents', and he didn't get out of bed till 9:30. And when I say he got out of bed, he wasn't right, was he? We had him led on his bedroom floor, because he wasn't right. He wasn't right at all. We then brought him downstairs slowly. He still wasn't right. The colour kept going from his face, then coming back. He was shaking constantly. His heart rate was high,
Which is really unusual because the RAS that James had was that his heart skips beats and skips too many beats in a row, and that's the collapse. So the fact that Ben's heart rate was higher
elevated,
than it should have been was interesting.
Yeah. So we gave him some breakfast to try and get some food in him, because food will kickstart your heart, and he nearly threw up it was a fucking roller coaster. You got quite worked up's not the right words, but you were quite concerned about what was going on because it hadn't normally lasted for 2 fucking hours. Eventually, we got his heart rate back down. All the colour came back to him. He went back to normal. Everything was okay. Everything pinked up again. His lips went back to normal colour. His eyes went back to normal colour. Because there's a real change in the way he looks, right? A real change. And we eventually were like, are we comfortable taking him to parents? Yeah, they know about James's issues, etc. So we took him down, explained everything that had gone on. It meant that we didn't get in the car then until like 12:30, 1 o'clock to leave. And we had originally planned to be leaving around here 2 hours earlier. We had a table booked, and this place is fucking right up north compared to where we're from anyway. So in the end, we jumped in the car, went to town, to do some shopping for wedding accessories, and then we got in the car and we basically drove 5 straight hours, didn't we? We didn't stop. Saturday we didn't stop at all once we left Southampton.
No.
So we got all the way to the hotel, got there an hour before our table booking, sort of breathed a sigh of relief for 5 minutes, chilled, got changed for our meal booking because it's fancy dress. Not fancy dress, but fancy dress. Like, I didn't go dressed as Woody from Toy Story. So we then went and had our meal and shirts and shoes and stuff like that. Got back to the hotel room, absolutely ball bagged. Tried to go to sleep. Worst bed in the world. Oh, they phoned me, by the way, the hotel today.
All right.
Yeah, they left a voicemail about, we'd like to discuss your experience.
I'm not taking it down.
No, that's what they want, obviously. I got halfway through the voicemail. I was like, this isn't for me. Luke wrote the review. Anyway, so didn't sleep very well. Next day, we got up. It's a wedding day, so we've got to get ready for a wedding. And then we're in a room full of people. I knew the groom, the best man, and another guy. That was all I knew out of everybody in that room. You knew the groom. You'd met the best man once at a Christmas party years ago, which we didn't remember, did we, babe?
No.
And then knew no one else. So with a room full of like over 100 other people, massive drain on social battery. Like you said, loud, noisy, hot.
Yeah.
It's a wedding room, etc. We then back to the room, slept again. Thankfully, a good bed. Slept like absolute logs. Got up in the morning, drove 5 hours back to pick straight back to the kids. Straight back here, drop back, straight back to my mum and dad's, pick the kids up. Didn't get to them till like whatever it was, fucking 5, 6 in the afternoon or something. Pick them up, come back over here. That's why we cancelled the stream. So actually, in terms of like even coping with what happened Saturday morning, didn't really have any time at all.
It was only yesterday morning that I nearly cried at the Hoover because it felt heavy, and I was thinking,
no,
what is going on? Why am I all sort of spiky? What's going on?
Yeah, that's terrifying. I mean, it is, but it happens.
The worst bit is because when you know the science behind it, and you can go, right, I'm expecting these things because now I know why these things are happening. It's the eyes, watching the eyes roll
back up in the head.
That's like, oh god. That's
when they
horrendous.
one of the hardest parts was when they put James under for general anaesthetic for the operation. That was fucking horrible. I'm not looking forward to going in there for when they take it back out again. It's awful.
Yeah, but at least you can be like, yay!
If you've got kids and you've watched them go under general anaesthetic, it's fucking awful.
I love it more as a hobby now due to the skills I have learned and what I can achieve. But working in commercial kitchens is hell.
I've never known anybody say anything good about working in commercial kitchens. Ebplay, thank you for the one gifted. Come on, chat, I'm hanging on for you tonight. We've only got 198 to go. With 159 people watching, if everyone gives 5, we'll do it, alright? If everyone gives 10, we'll probably do it as well. Social energy is a thing that takes me days to recover on being around people. The cup fills faster than it empties.
Yeah, always the way.
It's almost like it's like got a wide neck at the top and a tiny neck at the bottom, and so when you fill, and it fills up like a sand timer.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like it fills up really quickly because it's got a wide neck for pouring the sand in, but it drips out slowly because it's got a tiny aperture to drain back out again. So when you've got your limit on that beaker, the sand goes above the limit very fast and takes a while to start coming back down and go back down behind that level. It's like we mentioned it yesterday. It's like almost like audio peaks where it bounces up and then it takes ages to come back down again.
Yeah.
If you've ever watched an audio device,
and you'll be coming down, and then you'll get Mum, and
Yeah.
it bounces up, or you'll be coming down and you'll be in a quiet room, just nobody needs me, it's fine, and then the dog walks in and puts her head on your lap. Very sweet thing. What she's doing is putting a demand on me of, I'd like some fusses. So then you peak a little bit, and it's just constantly, and it's unreasonable to ask your loved ones to just piss off for a week, because it's not their fault necessarily that you're feeling a bit.
It's also entirely reasonable to be a little bit selfish at times and take time for yourself. And I feel like often your loved ones are going to be the people at least that understand that.
Yeah.
Jill, thank you for the 1 gifted, you beautiful human. Average British Nerd, thank you for the 10 gifted, you beautiful fucking human. He's following the rules. I said if everyone gives 10, then we'll get to the target of probably 300 maybe. Same here, social exhaustion is just something to avoid most of the time. I feel like, you've said this a lot, Lise, I feel like it's got more prevalent since COVID.
I think something really strange happened during COVID, that now we don't cope with busy rooms as well as we used to, and just going back to the topic at the start, being hassled there's now such a bad negative tone to it, Like, we need to work smarter all the time. Well, not necessarily. What are we in a rush for? It's not a race.
Smarter.
And what really blows my mind is toddlers that were toddlers during COVID, not necessarily babies born during COVID, but toddlers that were toddlers during COVID. This is the way they think it's always been.
I think working smarter makes sense in certain aspects. Like, if you're trying to be more time efficient as a business, working smarter kind of makes sense because you're maximizing things like profit. But I think depending on what you're doing, sometimes the joy is in the process, not necessarily the result.
Yeah.
Right? So one of your main hobbies, food. I don't care what you say, it's a hobby, right? One of your main hobbies, food. One of your biggest joys isn't necessarily the end result. It's the process of making the thing and then getting to the end result. Now, you need the end result, of course you do, but the process is part of the joy. So what you don't want to do is like, chuck it all in a bowl, leave it alone. Oh, look, I've suddenly got all these muffins. You like the whole measuring it, mixing it, forming it, shaping it, all that kind of... Do you know what I mean? The process is part of the joy.
Yeah.
Right? And I feel like the working smarter, working quicker, it definitely has a place, but perhaps we apply it to too much. We apply lean too much. Kai also said, by the way, that he had a much worse weekend because he tried doing some lunges.
What? Did it not go well?
Well, obviously. Jasper, thank you for the 10 gifted. Come on, chat. Come on, I'm hanging on for you now. Because we're not streaming at all tomorrow. Because birthday. I'm actually kind of looking forward to it. But I think I still need to fucking squeeze a reset day in at some point. I haven't had a reset day since we got back. I was straight into it yesterday, and then today's been lots of admin catching up on. Because Monday mornings is normally my admin time to do t-shirts and giveaways. If you've won a t-shirt or you won a Thane's giveaway or whatever, and you've messaged me about it, not a Thane's giveaway, sorry, Yarl's giveaway, and you've messaged me about it, that all got action today. That all got action and sent out today. So you should be receiving them in the near future. I'm the opposite to a point, of course. I love working conventions, 20,000 people, 3 days running a booth, talking for 9 hours a day. I revel in it, but I did 3 of them in 4 weeks. That was too much. So there's extroverted and introverted, isn't there? And I was definitely, if you ever do the Myers-Briggs type indicator, the MBTI, I was definitely classified as extroverted for the longest time, where literally you're energized off being around other people. And introverted is the opposite. It's a drain on your energy being around other people. And I definitely was hard extroverted in my past life. And I feel like, and I think COVID has got something to do with this, I feel like as I've grown up and I actually think one of the things I think has changed this actually is having the family, right? So when I used to have like a room on camp on my own in the barracks, I fucking didn't like being on my own. And my door was always open and people always coming in for cups of tea. Now I've got my own space and a family. I'm like, I don't want you here. I don't want people here. I just want to be around my things and my family. So I feel like my extroverted has changed a bit. And I'm probably sat more central now than I am hardcore extroverted. Like, I can go to events and things and be energized off of other people, but I'm also like, I just want my own space now. I was an introvert, then I opened my own business and learned to be an extrovert. Interesting. I love my cooking hobby, but I wouldn't go with a million miles of a commercial kitchen. I don't blame you, actually. Ask my knees, they're messed up. Amazing.
The cup fills faster than it's emptied. Strange, when I go to the bar it's the complete opposite. Is it just me?
Thank you, Johan. That's the Swedish legend. I feel like that it's filled quicker than it's empty when I go to the bar. They fill it in no time at all. It takes me a while to drink it. But lockdown didn't affect me the slightest. Just got on with life as normal. That's interesting. I think it's definitely changed us. But it changed us massively anyway, because it's when we switched to home educating. But I find it interesting. I feel like for a lot of people, cooking is one of those hobbies where it's almost a definite, and I don't want to turn it into a job.
I think when I did work in kitchens, the most annoying thing was people sending back food when there was literally nothing wrong with it. And they'd send it back. Are you a chef? No. Do you work in a kitchen? No. You barely cook your own kids' dinner, so why are you sending this back? Ugh. And then having a restaurant manager that didn't have a set of bollocks.
Yeah, that's hard when you don't have the support of the people above you.
Yeah.
Like, didn't you have a big table once who refused to pay as well? After they'd all finished their food?
That wasn't me, that was my colleague.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I remember you telling me the story. I thought I remembered it was you. But...
And that's what happened there was a couple of the guys had, air quotes, important phone calls they needed to make in the car park.
Yeah.
So they were out the building. Then, I've never known this to happen, all the kids in the known land at the table needed the toilet at the same time. So all the women had to take all the kids to the toilet at the same time, so they've left the table. And then it sounded like a completely staged row broke out on the table, so the waitress was understandably a bit nervous about going in there with the bill. It's a very well-rehearsed routine.
I'm sure it is.
And when you have a relatively new waitress, it's about 18, going head on with that, I didn't envy her at all.
Andrew says, lockdown really messed me up. I know my social battery definitely drains so much quicker now, but it took 2 years of therapy for me to process everything that I witnessed. What did you do, dude? Were you in like medical or something? My day has really sucked today. My missus farted in the car. I vomited in my mouth a little. I thought a rat had died. Wow.
What?
Thanks for sharing, Kai.
Why did you read that out?
Because he said my day has really sucked. So Kai's like an avid supporter of the channel. I mean, not a thane, but he's an avid supporter of the channel, and he's in most, if not all, of the streams. So when he's like, my day has really sucked, I wanted to be like, how can we help him out of this? Like, how can we be like super positive for Kai? We love you, dude. And then he went, my wife has farted in the car. I didn't expect it to take that turn, Luce. That wasn't a turn I expected, all right? Sometimes I don't read ahead fast enough because I'm like, Kai is a trusted person. I don't have to worry about what he's going to say. He says his day sucked. Let's be super nice to him. I didn't expect that second sentence. All right? Now I know I'm going to have to start auditing what Kai says as well.
Kai, you're on the list.
You're on the list. Honestly, these chats are roller coasters of emotions. They are sometimes, aren't they, wee man? Nice English shirt. You will get rolled by the All Blacks, almost definitely. Okay. Still going to wear it. Still more proud of the England rugby team than the England football team. Just saying. Anywho, did I watch you getting a fact ready?
Yeah, I looked at the time, it said 8:30, and it's not 8:30 still.
No, I've hung on a little bit later to try and get to covering for tomorrow, because we don't have a stream tomorrow. So I put up covering for Thursday up here, and we almost got halfway. And then they started gifting. I was like, oh, well, hang on a bit, because maybe the train will go choo-choo and fuck off right out the station. Right, and go over the finish line. And they stopped again. So now I guess they can have the Luke fact. Have you got one ready?
Okay.
You sure?
I've tried to Google it because you're going to be like, that's shit. But I don't understand what I've Googled, so I'm just going to go for it.
Is it from the Book of Bollocks? Not its official name.
Bollocks.
Not its official name, chat. To be fair. Is it from the Book of Bollocks?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
this
wait,
book,
do I know a different?
This book is a book that's like, here's a fact that's physically impossible to prove or unprove. Go. We're going to call it a fact. In our 365 facts that don't have 365 facts, one of the facts is that there isn't actually 365 facts because one of them was missing. Okay? So this is what we're going to do, loose facts, right? So Luce is going to read you a fact, and you have to decide whether it's true or false. If it's true, you type her name in chat, and she gets really excited because she's her name loads. Right? Luce. Luce. If it's bollocks, it's a loose fact. Loose. Not true. It's loose at best. Right? And you have to decide which one it is. Here it comes, the bit you've probably all been waiting for.
It was renamed Google after the word Google was misspelt. Google is the number 1 followed by 100 zeros. So it's... How do you have to write it in a like to the power of number?
So 1 followed by 100 zeros as in an actual number. That's called a Google.
A Google. And Google was a misspelling of Google. So it's Is it 1 to the power of 100 or is it 1 to the power of 10 to the power of 100?
Miniature Studios called it bollocks already. So's Average British Nerd. So's Bolter Bro. Then there's 3 people that said true as well. Stick Monkey said it's true, and he works in the internet.
Oh, okay. Yay!
So I feel like he might know. A Google. Yeah. Is it true? I mean, that's one of those where I didn't instantly go bullshit. That's one of those I was like, I can believe that. I could go either way. I could go either way there, says Jeremy. We need to count it, says Escapade. Oh my god, he's going for it.
What are you counting?
You missed 7. You missed 7, Escapade.
We're off onto a rocky start.
Sounds dumb enough to be a fact. That sounds... A Google is 1 followed by 100 zeros. That part's true. Alex, thank you for the 5.
So,
if you were going to say something, type it in chat because you've missed it in YouTube chat, dude.
So you have 1, 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, a million, and then
Oh my
a
god,
billion,
Escapade.
a trillion.
Have you read that? Have you read what Escapade just said in chat?
Oh, stop it. A trillion. What's after trillion? Quadrillion?
I don't know.
And pentillion?
It sounds like it sounds like it was hard work, Andrew, to be fair. I've been trying to keep an eye on it, so we've also been talking. Right, chat. I'm going to officially turn this off in 9 minutes. I'm officially going to stop the stream at 9:30, okay? Because I like to finish on specific numbers. It makes me happy. Which means we've got 9 minutes to get halfway through this covering for Thursday. And then we'll just have to add another 150 onto the total target on Friday to actually make up for Thursday, right? So 26 members in 9 minutes? 8 minutes now. Is it possible? The number Google is bigger than all the fundamental particles in the universe. Oh. Kai drop is interesting. Thank you, Alex, for the 5.
So why was Google named Google? What does it have to do with...
Well, they obviously wanted to call it Google originally.
Yeah. So what's it got to do with...
Well, it's a search engine, so I wonder if they went for that because that's the number of things you can find.
So is a Google the biggest number you can get to?
Well, no, because you could obviously get to one with 101 zeros. That'd be bigger.
Then why not name it something like Infinite or something? Because it's they will never...
Because have you ever tried to come up with a company name? If you try and come up with a company name, in the UK alone, if you try and come up with a company name and you go on to Company's House, right, and you go business name checker, and you go, I want to call my new knitting business or cooking business, come up with a name.
No, I can't. Spoon theory.
Spoon. Okay, and then you put that. You put fucking spoon theory in the name checker, and some cunt somewhere will have already taken it. Guaranteed. Get 100%. It's so hard. So Google probably went, we could call it Infinite, and they went, has anyone got that name? There's about 12 businesses registered as Infinite already. Vlad von Carson, thank you for the 6 gifted. He got us to 130 chats, 20 to go. With 6 minutes. Thanks, Vlad. He says now there's only 20 more. What could we call? What could we call Lucy's cooking business? Lucy's luscious lard.
That's those. No.
Lucy's luscious larder.
No.
No?
No. It needs to be a name that somehow embodies the fact that I haven't burnt the kitchen down. Nobody has food poisoning. And it looks almost like the picture.
And you have to, nowadays, you've got to have a business of attitude as well. So it could be like slightly burnt bitch. That's what we could call it. Slightly burnt bitch.
No. No.
Right, okay. Lucy's Donuts. I don't think Kai's tried very hard there. I've already registered Liam Dempsey in case you choose to rebrand. No. You could have that one for free, says Paul. A few loose stitches.
I was part of a sewing group called Stitching Bitches.
Juicy Lucy, that's definitely a porn site, almost definitely. Lucy's Big Bloomers, brilliant. This is my favourite now.
No, but that's just people will be disappointed when they see me. They'll go, oh.
When you hold up 2 giant loaves. Juicy Lucy is a barbecue place here, I believe. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's a barbecue place in a lot of places. Doesn't roll off the tongue, says Awful Gamer. Lucy's very safe cooking company.
Yeah.
Oh, no. It's not got that catch to it, is it, mate?
See, Escafe's got it. Come to my kitchen. We don't poison you. That's the
That's
one.
a tagline.
That's the one.
Poison-free potions.
No. No.
Doesn't like my ideas. Barely edible. No E. coli here. Delicious, says Hubris. Amazing. Amazing. Right, 4 minutes, chat, to go. We're going to say goodbye, right? Hold up some baps. Yeah, exactly. Another saucy Sally. 17? What was 17 in? Oh, because Escapade was doing all of his numbers. We stopped at 16. He got bored of all the zeros.
The Loose Catering Company.
The tagline could be, I mix in my sink. Poison free since 93. Well, we've had some interesting experiments that have happened over the course of the last 15 years of being together, haven't we?
What, I poisoned you?
I remember the birthday cake that nearly gave me a stroke.
What's the Black Forest Gatto?
No, not the Black Forest Gatto. Was it Black Forest Gatto? No, the one that... Luce,
The one with the kilogram of icing sugar in it.
Luce decided one day, or one birthday, that she was going to make me a birthday cake, and she was going to do red and white stripes in the icing for Saints, for football, right? On the icing. It was a big cake, right? It was a big cake, and it required a lot of icing. In fact, a kilogram of icing sugar. Some of it was made red, some of it was made white. It was then mixed together, and the cake came out it was kind of a pink with lots of splashes of red. The cake looked a little bit like a used sanitary towel.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, I'm a good husband, chap, right? So I was like, she's made me a cake. I'm sure the cake itself is going to be nice. So we cut a slice, and I made the fatal mistake, considering the icing goes all around the outside, I made the fatal mistake of the first piece I ate being an end piece. I think my face twitched for the next day. I think it actually twitched for the next day. How come the founder of Liam Dempsey Media Group couldn't come up with a good company name? I can come up with a good company name. One with time, right?
Wasn't Lee here as well, and he ate some?
Yes, he had not the end slice, and he also had a twitchy face. Right?
And then the Black Forest Gatto that had, it might have been sherry.
The Black Forest Gatto that you definitely wouldn't be legally able to drive after you've eaten it. Yes, thank you for 5 gifted. 15 to go in 1 minute, chat. Go! And then there was also the sausage surprise. Remember sausage surprise?
Oh yeah, I forgot to put
the sausage
sausages
casserole, which was missing sausages.
Because I forgot to put them in.
So we renamed it Sausage Surprise because there was no sausages.
Surprise!
That was a surprise. It's a vegetable casserole at this point. I'm sure there's been others as well. There's been a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah. But hey, you learn from those experiences.
Yeah.
The used sanitary towel shop name. I'm not sure about that. The Chloroform Cake Company. 15 more, my friend, says Vlad. It is 15 more, chat. But we're going to run out of time, I'm afraid. Loose stitches. Yeah, it's definitely easier to name a sewing business for you. Yeah. So you can make everyone lattice placemats.
Yeah.
Are you cutting that shirt up?
Maybe why?
Because I was going to chuck it in charity, and then you're like, I might cut it up. So.
Yeah, I will cut it up. I don't have a project for it yet, but it's perfectly good fabric.
What was learned? Not a lot, to be fair, Matt. He's mostly just chatting bollocks tonight, to be fair. 15 more, okay. No, not like that. No. Right, it's time to go. Thank you so much for your incredible generosity tonight anyway. You people are always amazing.
Mystics, that might give the wrong impression of my business.
Lucy's Needles and Spoons. You make a fortune out on the front of my building.
with cupcakes.
Yeah.
And they're going, oh no, that's not what we wanted.
They eat and they go, what's in these? Sugar and flour and... No, but what's actually in them? No, it's just sugar and flour and some raisins or whatever it is you put in cupcakes nowadays. Jacob, thank you for 5 gifted. Yeah, 10 to go. You still writing down for hat tricks?
Yeah.
Is that still a thing we're going to do?
I'm doing it.
Okay. Well, there you go. Not that that's what you want. One year at Christmas time, my mum got drunk on the Baileys and she cooked us turkey. It was raw inside and we had mushy peas, garden peas, and that was it. That's a Christmas meal, isn't it?
Did any of you have the heart to say, Mum, half the meal's missing?
What's for Christmas dinner? Raw turkey, garden peas, mushy peas, go.
Your mum sounds amazing.
I already love your mum, Kai. That's fucking amazing. That's incredible. Do we have any interesting people that we can raid tonight? I swear to God, after we've been chasing the Thursday night members, if we raid someone and you gift loads of memberships, I'm going to be so angry, chat.
I'm going shopping for a violin.
No, they've all had raids recently. They can wait a little longer. Right, we're going to go, you beautiful people, because I am exhausted. We have a long day ahead of us tomorrow. I've got to get up early so I can squeeze the gym in before birthday time. We all chucked it. I'm sure you did. But thank you for hanging out. Like I said, I've said a few times, I'll say it again. There are no streams tomorrow. It's my youngest 7th birthday. We've got family coming over for some food. We're going to celebrate with him because he's still at an age where he doesn't really fully understand what's going on. But he actually now finally is like, it's my birthday, and he's happy about it being his birthday, which is quite nice.
Do you remember? And I think it might have been last year that it
was last year.
Yeah, he cried when we sang "Happy Birthday" to him.
Yeah.
The penny had dropped of.
It's my day.
They're all singing to me.
Yeah. So we're going to be doing that tomorrow. And then Friday, we will be back with 40k After Dark at 8:30. At some point in the near future, I'm going to probably add a couple of bonus streams this month to make up for the fact that we missed Monday and we're missing 2 tomorrow, which is a big deal for us. So keep an eye out for that stuff, all right? Because I need to make it up somehow because, as we mentioned at the start of the stream, we've got expensive studios to pay for. But you people have all been amazing, so thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you for the 140 brand new memberships, you or gifted memberships, you beautiful people. Thank you for all the super chats. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the engagement. Thank you for just being there and listening to us ramble on about bullshit. You're amazing people, and we love you very dearly. Is there anything you'd like to say before we go?
Nope.
No? You done? You good? Mm-hmm. And what we're gonna Google after this? Should we just call it Google from now on?
Well, it's supposed to be.
It's supposed to be. Thank you so much for watching, you wonderful people. We'll see you in the next one.
fought side by side. And if the gods will it, are ready for Valhalla. Berserk you.